Oh, wow. Okay.
What's happening? Are we
It's the reprint, kind of, sorta. We're having some technical difficulties, but good morning to the West Coast and good
Good
afternoon
morning.
to the East Coast.
Good
Jeez
afternoon to the
Louise.
East Coast. Good morning to the West Coast. Hello, hello,
Good
hello.
morning. Yes. Hello, hello, hello. Wow. Hello, hello, hello,
Yeah, we are
hello.
rocking and rolling.
Rocking and
Mm-mm-mm.
rolling and having some difficulty, but it's okay. It's all right. We're here. You're here. Victor, how was your morning so far?
Um, Good. No complaints here. I mean, technical difficulties is part of the game, I guess, right? So we
I
have to learn how
guess.
to bob and weave. We have to learn how to move along and what's the word? What to say? How to not change, but how to adapt,
Adapt.
how to
Adapt.
pivot. Yeah, how to pivot. So we're pivoting
Pivot.
this morning. Yes, these are key
We are
words in
pivot.
life. These are key words in life and in business. You have to learn how to adapt, how to pivot
That's true. That's
as
true.
we go along. How was your morning going? I know it's stressful, but
It's
other
been a,
leaders.
you know what? I am sitting with my mother-in-law today, and so um, it's been stressful. But I'll tell you guys this: I was watching because when I come over here on some Fridays, she enjoys watching Tyler Perry's plays,
Mm.
and I had never actually watched Tyler Perry's plays that are like the videos that you can watch that are
Okay.
on they're on Amazon Prime. And
Yeah.
so when I come over here, I watch them, because I'm sitting with
Mm-hmm.
her. And I learned a couple of things from watching these. First of all, I understand anyone who doesn't understand why Tyler Perry is as successful as he is hasn't watched the entire journey.
Mm.
When you see him sitting on stage having these just inspirational, entertaining conversations with a live audience, and you see what he's pouring in, all the seeds that he's planted, then it makes it very easy to understand why his audience is so loyal. Because he just really, I mean, these are like before he became the billion-dollar Tyler Perry. And I'm sure a lot of people know this that watch. Edna, good morning, Edna. She probably knows, or good afternoon, Edna. But I guess I've never looked at it from the perspective of all the seeds that have to be planted in order to get the harvest that you want. It really is. It's a formula that seems easy, but when you think about it, all everybody wants something before they've done that. But this man planted a lot of seeds. These plays are like me watching them at this point is like showing me this journey of just really putting in the work and really just sewing back into the community. It's very inspirational to watch. I will say that. So I am thankful for these moments that I have with my
Mm-hmm.
mother-in-law
Yeah.
to just be quiet and to, read, because I knew that he was doing this, but I just never. I was like, I'm not gonna sit and watch a play on video, but it does it gives me something that a perspective that I did not have before.
Are these new plays that he's doing, or the same
Mm-mm.
plays? This is old videos.
These are old
Okay.
videos, but it just
So
so watching these old videos and then seeing him come out at the last the Fighting Joy premiere that I went to in November,
mhm.
and seeing the reception that people give him, knowing that he's created this huge studio complex here, it
Yeah.
just makes sense. It makes sense.
It's a difference between say this all the time. A difference between a performing artist and a recording artist. And
Hmm.
sometimes you can be both, and sometimes some people can't be both. So a performing artist is somebody who goes on stage, performs every single night on stage to a live audience, goes through the motions with the microphones and the feedback and all that type of stuff. And they can go into the recording studio and record and sound the same live. Then you got the person that records as a recording artist, sounds awesome recording, but when they go live, it's a whole different sound, whole different vibe, a whole different
Mm-hmm.
experience. And some people start off on stage and then they go into onto the screen, and those are the, I call, true actors and actresses and singers, because they have that experience of knowing how to perform in front of an audience live to get the feedback in real time and to know that their jobs are being done right. And a lot of times those performing artists are classically trained by people who have done theater or have done live shows. So they have the right way to sing or the right way to project their voice, the right way to do it, because they practice and they go through a season of practicing for the show, and then they go on the road and do the show. So if you're an actor on Broadway, you might you might practice for like we talk about with Michael Jackson's biopic. He practiced for 4 years, and then you go do it. But a lot of these guys go and or women go and they practice for a while, and then they go and do these Broadway shows, and their Broadway shows could be a year or two run. So you've had all this time every night doing the same thing every night, versus
Mm-hmm.
a person who goes to record or goes and does a film, and then you don't see it for 6 months later or a year later. So yeah, so Tyler Perry's tested. He has tested his formula in front of live audiences, in front of people, so he knows what exactly he got the chemistry down pat. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he
shout out to
knows.
Tyler Perry.
Yeah, to Edna's point, he catered to the church.
Yeah,
I think he catered to the church and just to the community. People that
yeah,
did not maybe not have the $300 to go to see or at this point more than that to go see a Beyonce show, or
but
people that just
yeah,
hardworking people. But these
hmm,
shows also have a lot of like positive messaging behind them.
yeah,
It's good old fashioned like values, that we used to be a part, that our community used to aspire to. So
yeah.
anyway, I just wanted to say that I'm sitting. When I come over here, it's very still, it's very quiet, and
That's
we
good.
just play the Tyler Perry because that is the one thing that she'll laugh at, that she enjoys,
Yeah,
and so
that's good.
that is, yeah, it gives me something, right?
Yeah,
Um,
peace of mind. Yeah,
yeah. So I'm thankful for that. You know what? I guess we could just jump right into it because you mentioned the Michael Jackson biopic, and
yeah.
I'm actually going to go see it tonight. A couple of girlfriends and I are going to go see the movie, but there's some controversy about this film, of course. I noticed that when I saw the premiere
Hmm.
that Janet wasn't there, and also Reby, they have opted not to be a part of it. Also, there's just a lot of things that are left out. So we know that the biopic stars Michael Jackson's nephew Jafar as himself, and a lot of people are. One of the things that you'll see conflicting critiques of the movie, but
Hmm.
everybody seems to agree that he did a great job as playing his uncle. This is directed by Antoine Fuqua, and it was approved by Michael Jackson's estate. It covers Michael Jackson's rise from the Jackson Five through the mid 80s, but it deliberately omits the sexual abuse allegations and his legal troubles and his sister Janet entirely. Critics have been calling it sanitized, and Rotten Tomatoes gave it a horrible score, but a lot of fans have said they enjoyed it. A lot of fans have said they enjoyed the film. So I'll let you guys know on Monday. Are you going to see it, Victor?
I'm gonna see it tonight.
Okay, okay,
I'm gonna go see it
awesome.
tonight. I've bought my tickets already. Me and my wife and some friends are gonna go see it. Yeah, I'm staying away from the critics because just like we talked about Tyler Perry a minute ago, our community is misunderstood, in large ways. And even though Michael Jackson was an iconic person, the director and producers of the film wanted to make this. That's what's called Michael, because they wanted to talk
Hmm.
about him as a person. And of course, you wouldn't want to cover not the bad things, but for so long of his legacy, at the end of his life, we were uh, consumed with the court cases,
Mhm.
and it just
Mhm.
didn't make any sense. And now you have the Jeffrey Epstein files and stuff happening, and you start to see a little bit of understanding of what was going on with this, and what was happening with Michael and stuff like that. But I wouldn't, if I was making a film about myself or whatever, I would want to take out the parts that didn't, that didn't
I
need to
agree.
be in there. We had enough. I mean, we
Mhm.
had enough. There's enough evidence, and like people say, if you want to go see the other stuff, go watch the other films. If you want to see stuff about Michael Jackson's court cases, pull up the documentaries. There's plenty of documentaries on that. There's plenty. This is
Mhm.
not that film. This is about him as a person. And what's so messy is it's sad that Jafar Jackson can't even enjoy the moment um,
Yeah.
as much as he should be celebrated for his effort. This guy, this young man, put in 4 years of his life to practice to be like his uncle. Um,
And
we don't,
Jermaine's son. They Edna
yeah,
asked whose son is Jermaine's son, and Jermaine is actually
yeah,
executive
executive,
producer.
yeah. We
Mhm.
don't expect the same
Mhm.
from our white counterparts, do we? We don't expect
No,
the
we don't.
same from people who are portraying these other people. But when it comes down to our stuff now, we got to be exactly looking like Michael. Like, no, this is the best you're gonna get because it's his
Mhm.
DNA and it's his family.
Yeah.
So let's just enjoy it for what it is, entertainment and art, and move on. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
that deep.
I
That's how I
agree. I
see it.
agree 100% with you. I agree. I think that people just want to have. You're never going to make everybody happy, and I think people
No,
are just. We're in a time where people just enjoy commiserating. Like the people enjoy
yeah,
going online and complaining about something. The fact that his nephew played him is I don't
yeah,
care what happened between him and Jermaine. That's still his brother. Even the issues with Latoya, Janet, whatever. That's still a family, and all of us have family members that we have issues with, but we look at it differently because of their status, and that's they're just people, you know.
yeah. I
So
wouldn't expect Michael to be in Janet's movie like that. It was called Janet. I mean, it's Michael. You
that's
know what I'm
true.
saying? So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, I look forward to us talking about it on Monday. That's a positive,
yes,
positive thing. Um, Now we go from from positive back to the Iranian war. Um, Trump
conflict.
is, yeah, the conflict. President Trump has sent mixed signals on the U.S. Iran conflict. He has been sending, well, people are calling his messages contradictory lately about how and when this war could potentially end. Trump simultaneously declared that he is in no rush to stop fighting, while also expressing confidence that new peace talks will happen soon in Pakistan. He falsely claimed that Iran's requested a ceasefire, something Iranian officials flatly denied. And the Strait of Hormuz remains a flashpoint. All disruption is growing, and a fragile ceasefire is on the clock, with Trump saying that extension is highly unlikely. Why do you think that we see so many conflicting messages coming from the White House?
I do not know. To be honest with you, to be honest with you, I, it, it- it's market manipulation. Market manipulation. If that's it, right? Manipulation. Yeah.
Hmm.
Because 1 minute it's open, next minute it's closed. 1 minute it's open, next minute it's closed. And this is the I saw an article where this is has been the most gap between the oil prices, because there's the paper price and then there's the actual price of oil. And the paper
Hmm.
price right now, it's 90, maybe $100, and the actual price of oil is like $130. And this is the first time in history there's been such a large gap. Most of the times the paper price and the actual price of oil is like $1 or $2 apart. This time it's like $30 apart. And
Hmm.
this is causing a huge energy um, shakeup in the world, because not only is uh, fuel affected, but power in other countries like Cuba. Um, Other countries like China that needs fuel. It's just it's a mess. But I don't know exactly why this is going back and forth the way it is. But all I
Mhm.
know is that I can't wait for this president to be out of office and for we
Mhm.
for us to have somebody else because it's every day is something different. And we watch the news where they're past psychedelic drugs on they're trying to pass that psychedelic drug situation. It just he's falling asleep at the table. I mean, it's just funny stuff. Did
I
you
think
see
that's.
what
I
this?
think that's.
Did you see what he said about MLK yesterday?
I did not.
He was comparing the March on Washington to his inauguration, talking about he had more people at his inauguration than MLK. I think it was either the March on Washington or something along those lines. But he was comparing his audience crowd to MLK's audience crowd, saying he had more than MLK. And I'm
Hmm.
just like, dude, when are you gonna give this up? You keep talking about Biden and Barack Obama and anyhow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's
don't have an answer for you on that one because there is no one. I don't even think he has an answer for that. There is no answer.
there is no answer. But I guess my only thing is I have no idea. I have no idea. But I definitely think that it is not all President Trump. I think that he is, to your point with him falling asleep, and he's definitely in a different place. There's some other there's something else going on. We probably will never know what is really happening. Um, but it's
Yeah.
definitely some interesting things. But you know what? Everything has been we've talked about the negativity of just what's going on politically. Critics talking about the Michael biopic, but you know what? We have some positivity when it comes to sports, and so that's why we are excited to welcome back Jamal Bottomlineburke. He's back.
What's the deal? What's the deal, Jamal? How you doing?
I'm doing well, doing well. Hello, Victor. Hello, Crystal. It
Hey.
is exciting times to be in Atlanta for sure.
I'm
Mm-mm-mm.
sure, but you know what? Before we get into sports, because we know you got a lot to share with us, Victor and I just wanted to do something really quickly. If you guys can turn your attention to the stage, hopefully the technology is not going to let me down.
I wanna say happy
There we go.
birthday. Let's go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Close your eyes and make that wish. Think about it and blow out your candles. Close your eyes and make that wish. Let's go. Think about it and blow out. I wanna say happy birthday to you. I wanna say happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you.
Happy
That was
birthday, man. Happy birthday.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. So just like you were talking about earlier, Crystal, just appreciating life and making sure everything's done with pure intentions and go after everything you want. So I'm excited to be on the show today for sure.
Well, thank you. I think that
Of
what
course.
a perfect day to have you on, and
I
for
know.
us to be able to talk about the NFL draft. Let's get into it, Jamal.
Well, before we talk about the draft, the Atlanta Falcons, their star rookie, the linebacker James Pierce, who had several felony charges against him when he was arrested a few months ago.
Mhm.
Yesterday they dropped it to misdemeanors and they settled out of court, and so that was a very pivotal and significant judgment, given that his career essentially was on the line. But now that that's away, I pray that he receives this as a very cautionary tale and never ever ever have this subject
Yeah.
matter associated with his name, going forward, because he got lucky on this one.
Wow.
Wow. Good feel. Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that. I did not see that going that way.
No,
So, do you know how did the tides turn? I mean, we're thankful that that happened, but how did the tides turn? Do you know anything about why we ended up, in this place, as opposed to, a very, very different outcome?
Yeah, the only thing I do know is that if there wasn't a settlement or some type of agreement, Mr. Pierce would have been subject to trial. They would have been on trial on May 4th. So the judge and the lawyers got together over the last 48 hours and came to this conclusion, which I'm praying that both parties felt that this was the amicable and the correct decision. And it wasn't coerced or anything like that. But the other young lady that is under subject, she's also a professional athlete. They have a long relationship because they both went to college. So, prayers for both parties. And again, hopefully James takes this as a fantastic opportunity to just move on with his life and be the best version of himself.
So, my other question is, Jamal, does this mean that his future with the Atlanta Falcons is secure for right now?
Yeah, it's much more secure than prior to, where everything was tentative on what the outcome of this case was going to be. But I think right now he 100% will be playing in an Atlanta Falcons uniform this upcoming season. He has the talent and the potential to be an all-pro linebacker for multiple years. So this is a dynamic talent. And I'm not sure if the Atlanta Falcons clubs will still, provide some type of further consequences. I know he's also subject to go to counseling, which I think he sorely needs as well.
Wow. Well, that's a positive.
Yeah.
You came in with positivity, didn't you?
I'm coming. It's Friday, man. It's Friday. Beautiful outside, and it's always good to deliver good news. We so often hear the opposite.
Yeah, that's good news. That's real good news.
Absolutely. Yeah. I did want to ask you, because I know Victor and I talked about both going to see the Michael biopic. I'm actually going to the Black Effect podcast
tomorrow.
All that happening tomorrow, and I wonder are you going to step? Are you going to step in over there tomorrow?
Yes, I will be in attendance as well. If you're in this business, I think it's your responsibility to be in the atmosphere, be amongst like-minded people, be among your peers, and it's a good networking opportunity, and also just to kind of see different perspectives and strategies and systems. Because the reality of this media market is that it's very fragmented, and the onus is completely up to you these days.
Yeah,
maybe you got find a good solution for the tech problems we've been having.
Right.
Talking to some people like, hey,
nobody doing construction in the back, Victor.
not today.
We're just having tech issues, not construction issues today. But you know what? We're blessed to be here. It's a beautiful day, and we have turned it. Jamal came in with positivity. It just really warmed my heart to hear that, because we were at the time when you initially announced it, we realized that this could be a young man who had amazing potential career in front of him that could have all come to an end. So that's great. That's awesome to hear.
Yes. Yeah. And then the Atlanta Hawks last night squeaked away performance in Game 3, first home game in the playoff series, first round. So very excited. I heard earlier you mentioned Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry was in the building.
I saw him. Nice. So I'm on the floor, like he just all the swag.
Boozy, T.I. That's the one thing you got to really appreciate about the city of Atlanta. They will support you when you do well, and that was indicative of the attendance last night. And C.J. McCollum, the ringleader of the Atlanta Falcons, and its consummate leader, and always is productive and organizing folks to be successful, came through again last night in a clutch. So right now the Hawks are 2-1, and it was funny too, because the first half of the game, I was disappointed with the New York Knicks coach Mike Brown. I was almost ready to just push aside my black card as far as the brotherhood, in which I can't say nothing negative against my fellow brother, but his performance as far as coaching in the team, I was so disappointed. I said, might say something I don't want to say in the morning, but
Don't do it. Don't do it.
yeah, he made the adjustment. He made the second half adjustments, and it was a very competitive game. But the Hawks prevailed. They were the better team last night, and we just have to keep building on the momentum that we've created these last two games, because this city believes we can knock off the New York Knicks.
Of course.
Right,
the
hey,
Knicks.
Atlanta, Atlanta's we're gonna believe if nothing else. You see what we have done for the Falcons, and in treacherous times, we have continued to support. So the Hawks definitely are good. Definitely
Go
are
Hawks.
good.
Go Hawks.
Talk a little bit about that halftime performance. I know the city is just in a great place right now. There's so much going on. I will say it is awesome seeing Ti have this second wind. Not even just like a third or fourth, but not only seeing him do it, but seeing him do it along with his children. It's for someone that worked with him early on. This is just so amazing, and Tiny as well. I saw her; she was there as well. So, can you talk a little bit about just the energy and the cultural moments that were happening last night at the game?
There were just so many. Comedian Don DC Fly. I even seen Soldier Boy.
Man,
Soldier Boy represented, and I remember a couple of weeks ago, Ti, I believe, was on the Breakfast Club, and he asked him about his resurgence, as you mentioned, Crystal, and he said this is the first time that he could clear time and energy to dedicate to just music, as opposed in the past. He had a bevy of different business ventures that he was occupied in. And Ti is so unique and so dynamic. He gets philosophical, because he said he wants to earn the right to retire. When asked if this is his last album, he said he wants to earn the right to retire. So the only way he see fit is to put out the best music that he could possibly muster, and then leave on that note. So once again, he's definitely set apart 101, and the not only the city but the country loves and appreciates Ti, and just seeing King and Damani, and like you said, Tiny, his daughter. It's just it has nothing. It does nothing but warm your heart. It makes you want to root and further support him going forward.
Yeah, I agree. He's a king.
Yeah.
He is a king. He's a king.
There you go.
All right. Well, we appreciate that, Jamal. Let's get into it. Let's get into sports. Now, I want to ask you this question, because we didn't have you last week, and I had a chance to. I was doing my Fox segment, and I talked with Kevin Egan, who is the representative for the soccer league, and he was talking about he does a segment on Fox as everyone is preparing for FIFA next month, and he was saying that there is kind of like some conflict going on with the fact that the Iranian team is an amazing team, but they're not sure if they would be safe. But it really wouldn't be a World Cup without the team from Iran here. And it was just interesting to hear all of this is going on behind closed doors. Now, one of the things that he shared with me is that the team is, of course, that's the people of Iran, and they are not. Our government is fighting with their government. And so President Trump allegedly, we don't know, things change, very quickly, but President Trump did guarantee their safety if they were here on American soil, and support for them to participate. But there was just a little conflict on how would they be able to participate. We know that there are Iranians here living in America that would be able to support them. But I'm wondering, have you heard any of that, or how do you kind of weigh in on sports? There's always an intersection of sports and politics. That's always happened. But this is such a dire situation. It was also mentioned the fact that Russia was not allowed to participate in the past World Cup because they attacked Ukraine. But it's interesting because Iran did not attack Israel. The U.S. and Israel attacked Iran. So there really should be no issue with them participating and being welcome to participate, but it's got to be a little strange for their morale, team morale. I can't imagine coming to a country that is attacking your country, even though the citizens are not necessarily supportive of their government. So, not to throw all that political stuff at you, but because it is about FIFA and we are preparing here in Atlanta for this celebration, do you have any thoughts on the players from Iran, them actually participating in the World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, this is the consequences of the political landscape that we currently have between all parties that you mentioned. This is nothing new. You know, back in, I think it was 84 or prior to, when the political landscape was just as uncertain as it is today, and causes grave safety concerns for all involved, like Cuba. I remember when we was going to war with Cuba, and a couple other countries where we didn't go over there. So this isn't nothing new. It's unfortunate because it is a missed opportunity to grow the sport, to promote unity, peace, and love. But completely understand on either side or any party that's involved, if they decide not to come or participate just because of safety concerns, because again, it's hard to say, but it is a life or death potential situation when you think about the stakes and the heightened uncertainty as each day goes on until an agreement is met.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll turn. I really hope they are allowed to play, and that it's able to be worked out in a way where, because I know sports has a way of just restoring morale, right? And like you said, talking about in Atlanta, when things are wrong, it kind of brings out that feeling of community, in a real way. So I do hope their team I hope that the Iranian team, they've worked really hard. Most of them have probably committed their lives to
Yeah,
playing, and I hope they're
yeah,
able to
yeah.
play. Mhm.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say that. I was gonna say that most of those athletes have been athletes practicing their whole life, and to
Mhm.
not be able to play in a sport or in a tournament that you've been practicing for because of political situations. And a lot of times it's not even about them; it's about the people that surround them, that the security concerns about, whether it be
Yeah.
spies or whatever. But yeah.
Edna says participation has been confirmed. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has stated Iran will take part in the 2026 World Cup and is welcoming the United States. I heard that, but
Yeah,
thank you,
so
Edna, for confirming that. That's good.
Perfect. There you go. There you go. Your answer.
All right. Well, I'll give the baton back to you, Jamal, with more sports. I know that there are some people looking at that draft and are excited to hear, what happened during that time. So let us know what are the deets.
Yeah, so the draft is today and tomorrow, and we fully expect, I know a lot of people talking about the QB situation, and both on offense and defense last night. So it's going to be interesting to see if we continue to focus on the defensive side of the ball tomorrow. I think once all selections are in, because there's some whispers of potential trade bait. So I can't wait to this time next week when everything's settled and we can talk about everything in a more definitive as opposed to speculative. Yeah.
But you don't have any speculations for us, Jamal? Any of your personal favorites, or what you would love to see happen from this draft?
Yeah, I think we should strengthen. We got to strengthen up the offensive line, and then, again, the one glaring question is at the QB position, right? We have a lot of potential quarterbacks, but nobody's a real clear favorite, and so until that is established, because that's the main identity of the team, because that's going to show the personality of the team. That's going to show the direction. As far as we have a all-pro receiver, we have the best running back in the NFL, and Bijan Robinson. And so also there's whispers of the tight end being traded. So that's what I'm saying. It's just right now it's just speculative. So once everything is definitively done, then we could talk about it in a much more extended version. But there's just a lot of questions. The only thing I feel completely confident about is our defense. I fully expect there to have a top 5 defense in all of the NFL. They do an outstanding job. They did an outstanding job last year. And now that the assurance with James Pierce, I think that's actually been the biggest question or a very important question that had to be answered this offseason. What will be the status ultimately of James Pierce? Because, again, he has all-pro potential, and he's one of the leaders on the team. And he did that last year by only being a rookie. So that I'm not really a speculative guy. And I didn't scout and scour the college talent, because the bottom line is that you don't know which talent is actually going to translate or not. So next week will be a great time to talk about it a little bit more extensively.
So Atlanta, sorry,
go ahead,
quick
Victor.
question. So Atlanta is not in the first draft; they're in the second day, right?
Every team gets every round, right?
Oh, they do. I'm looking at it here on a chart. I don't see Atlanta on the chart at all.
Yeah, so sometimes what happens is they might have gave away their first round draft pick in years prior.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. There's gonna be a lot of swaps, and until everything's finalized. I just think it's just gonna be speculative. We're just gonna be up here, swinging at the butterflies. You know what I mean?
Tammy says, "I take it you all are speaking on Atlanta. We aren't all from Atlanta, so I guess people want to look. Is there any other teams that that you're looking forward to?" So I see here in our notes the first round wrapped up in Pittsburgh with a few blockbuster moments. Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza was the Heisman Trophy winner.
Went to the Raiders.
Yeah, he went to Raiders. Yep, Raiders.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that was a foregone. That's what I'm saying. A lot of stuff is has already been spoken about, a foregone conclusion.
Okay.
Once the season wraps up, typically with the number one prospect like the quarterback you mentioned, Mendoza, that those conversations already had in March with agents.
What kind of money is he gonna get, Mendoza? I'm just curious.
I think they already said. I think it was like a let me see. Real quick. I believe it was like I think he did a 4-year deal. Let me see, Mendoza.
4-year deal.
Yeah, 2000s. Yeah, it's typically run. Let me see. Oh, that's for 2026.
Yeah, I'm always curious to know what kind of money they're gonna make. Because they're young. I mean, not like I'm pocket watching. I'm just curious because I'm not too much of a sports person, so I'm just like, okay, how much money are you gonna make? How old are you? 20, 23, 20? How old he is? Just curious.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean,
he has a full, like I said, 4 years, because a lot of times the system. So it's a fully guaranteed 4-year deal, about $54.56 million, and then with incentives, it could go up to $57.3 million.
Wow.
Jesus.
And how old is he?
I'm sorry?
How old is he? 20 what?
I think he's like 22, 23.
Jesus
$57 million at 23 years old. That's life-changing money right there. Family-changing money.
Yeah,
that is.
Deserve it when you're the number one pick in the draft, Victor. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just. It's great. I think it's awesome.
Hey, Victor. I don't know if this is breaking news, but NBA, NFL players make a lot of money, brother.
No. I didn't say
that's why the draft is so enormous, because this is all everybody's work's about to change. All these folks that's about to get nominated. It's all life-changing money.
And rightfully so. They work hard their whole lives for it. So rightfully so. Yeah.
I wonder, I wonder with something like that, what is the pressure? Because once you come in at that number one, at that, with that 4-year contract, I cannot imagine what pressure that is to live up to that investment. And can that, I don't know. I'm asking you, Jamal, if you know, if you start and you have a little bit of a rough first season, are there clauses, or is it customary for the team to kind of rethink their investment if it looks like in the first 2 years that you're not going to deliver on $56 million, $56 million contract? What does that do to the player? Because that just feels like an overwhelming amount of pressure.
Well, I think the first step, which was in the right direction by the Raiders, that they fully guarantee the contract. So the player doesn't have to say, okay, if I don't throw for these amount of yards, if I don't make a Pro Bowl, if I don't advance my team to a championship or a Super Bowl, then they're going to take money out of my pocket. And so I think establishing an infrastructure and this perpetual reassurance from the organization and their vote of confidence in the play that they drafted, that's going to be paramount, right? Because a lot of times it's great to be drafted high, but more importantly than where you're drafted is who you drafted to. And if that team is going to cultivate a support system to help you be successful, and that goes from the GM to your position coach to the offensive or defensive coordinator. And so the Raiders is still to be continued. You know, they just relocated down to Vegas, but I think that, speaking of Atlanta Falcons, they just signed Kirk Cousins to help provide veteran leadership and experience to help this young rookie quarterback navigate and accelerate and make that transition as smoothly as possible. But inevitably, the first year is going to be a rough year, and the second, third, typically the third and fourth, those are the years that the team will heavily evaluate to see if they should further extend the quarterback or whoever they draft this weekend for a second contract, or if they should move on.
Is Tom Brady part of that franchise?
Yeah, he's a minority owner.
Man,
so that's another treasure check of a mastermind football royalty that could be assistance and a resource. So that's what I mean about making sure you have the infrastructure and people all around this quarterback to just keep reinforcing you the guy, because the quarterback position is super important, but it's also very fragile, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it's
can't get any sack. Can't be sacked.
Teflon, a fearless, emotionally strong player. You know, that's going to determine the direction of your franchise for the next 5 to 10 years.
Wow.
Right.
Interesting. I just know there are a lot of women trying to secure their relationships before the draft come. Unfortunately, that's an unfortunate reality that there are a lot of women that are also trying to lock in their place with that, get their cut of that $56 million check or whatever the check is. You know,
a lot of women are doing that. You know, there's romantic links in sports and the money and everything, and this is draft weekend, so this is also a good time to kind of insert the conversation about the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft. Spud from UConn, she was selected by the Dallas Wings, and during her press conference, a reporter asked her about her previous relationship with her former teammate at UConn, Paige Becker. And so now that they're teammates in the WNBA, the media personnel asked, and in my opinion, I think it's a fair question, but I'm gonna kick this off to Victor and yourself, Crystal, as a woman. So the reporter asked if their prior romantic relationship would affect the dynamics of the team. You know, paraphrasing, that wasn't exact quote, but that's pretty much the consent or the gist of it. But the Dallas Wings media manager immediately stopped the question.
Shut it down.
Shut the question down. So I think that I thought it was a fair question.
Mhm.
And I also think, and it goes back to what I said about the infrastructure. Did they even consider that these type of questions are now going to be commonplace and fair bound when you
Yeah.
draft players? That I'm sure they did their research and investigated Mr.
Mhm.
Hud's history and knew that they had that romantic relationship, but
Mhm.
it shows a bit of foolish naivety by
Yeah.
the Dallas Wings media manager to stop that abruptly when everybody's saying that the coverage of women's sports needs more. So more means new verticals, which is the
Mhm.
reality that these women are also romantically linked.
Yeah.
I would.
Unfortunately.
I was answer as a publicist. As a publicist, I would have shut it down. But it is because you don't want that conversation to become bigger than the game, right? And that conversation has the potential to definitely become salacious and to become a distraction. But as a journalist, that is the question that you need to ask, and I think that is it's also it's just a very credible question, and I think we all know that regardless of what side you sit on or who you're romantic relationships can become distractions off the court, right? So definitely, if they're on the court, there's reason to believe that could be a distraction. But the media manager did the right thing by shutting the question down because you can't allow that to be a distraction in the press conference. And you don't want a lot of times you don't want the public to become more aware of something if they hear something, but if it's brought up again, there's more headlines about it, then it becomes a bigger distraction.
I
So that's interesting.
think it's
So
bigger now. I
my
think it put an even brighter light on that because it's
Mhm.
inevitable, right? That if these young ladies are linked, just like you mentioned, and we all know about in the football locker rooms and the NBA
Yeah.
locker rooms about different romantic relationships with media. We just seen that in the news recently as well. That
Hmm.
women who are in relationship with other women, that is that's front and center now. And
It
so that
is.
can't keep being avoided. That has to be addressed, if not today.
Hmm.
I think the
They're
longer
gonna
you
have to make a
wait,
statement.
the
They're gonna have to
longer
make a
you wait,
statement.
I think it's just gonna put a brighter spot in that area and for the team.
I'm gonna push back on that a little bit, right? So my take on it, where I do agree with both of you what you said, but my take on it also, when I first heard that, I was like, if this was a guy, this would never have happened, right? Like, why, as this young woman coming into a sport for the first time, that question has to be asked now? Why can't it wait till later? Why would you tarnish her entry into the game with a question like that? I mean, she
But I think
hasn't
it would
played.
have been asked if it was a guy, if it was a same sex relationship.
I don't. I
I do
mean,
think so.
yeah, but okay. So even if that was the case, but I'm still saying like she hadn't played a game yet. Give her some time to play. We didn't do it
It
to
doesn't
Bronny when he
matter.
came in. Like,
That's not realistic. That's a utopian idealistic mentality or perspective. Is no, once you get drafted, you're no longer your own property, Victor. Now
I
You
you're
make
get that. No,
you
I get
now
that. I get
you're
that.
subject to the public. And
That's a
But
liability. It's a potential liability, but I don't think that was sexist. I do think that the same question would have been asked if it were two men
no.
that were involved publicly and that was out. I would want to know. I think as a fan, you want to
Or
know,
maybe
like,
is
are
she
you going to
out?
be able to deal with it? Yeah.
Okay, well then
Yes.
I guess
Yeah.
this is a fair question.
and
Okay.
back in 2012, 2013, 14, somewhere around there, a brother Sam, I can't think of his last name, but
I think I remember that. Yeah.
he was a homosexual for the first time drafted in the NFL,
Yeah.
and he went to the Rams.
Hmm.
And so he was asked about that prior
Yeah.
to the draft, during the
Okay.
draft,
Well,
after the draft. That was the leading story. So that's
yeah.
what I'm
Mhm.
saying, Victor. This is inevitable. You can't duck and hide this now.
Well, I'm
And
not
it's,
saying duck and hide. I'm just saying give her a chance to play the game.
no,
Give her a
I'm
chance
not
to
saying.
play.
I'm
You know what
not
I'm saying?
saying to you. I'm talking
Yeah.
to the Dallas Wings organization. I'm not talking
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the
They should have
Dallas
vetted that better. Yeah.
organization that you can't avoid or duck and hide this conversation because if you didn't address it now, you're gonna have to address it later, because these women are romantically linked, whether the public wants to confront that or not. I remember even at Boston College, having relationships with different women on different teams. I won't say teams and stuff like that, but 100% the biggest challenge for said women's college basketball team's coach was, who am I going to match roommate wise in hotels on road games?
That's crazy.
It ain't crazy. It's reality. That's what I'm trying to say.
No. I am not saying not reality.
It's 1999. It's 2026. So that problem is not going away. That's why I'm saying this with the level of confident conviction I'm saying, because I know firsthand that these women are linked together. Not all, but I'm saying that this is from team to team, that this is happening. And now that they got the new influx of money with the TV rights, and they just renegotiated successfully their contract. So now they're gonna be on TV more attention, more mics, more lights, more pressure, to use that word. But this is something that has to be addressed as well.
So let me ask you this. So let me ask you, Jamal, I'll just throw the ball back to you. What do you think? I mean, I still stand behind the media manager's decision to shut it down at that time, because you never allow someone else to tell the narrative. You maintain control of that. So they will have to address it, but I do think they do it on their own terms. But as an athlete, do you think that could and will be a distraction, if not in this situation, but in the future? So do you think there's merit to that concern in that situation?
I guess I'm not qualified. Right. I'm not in the same sex.
You're the sports guy.
No, time out. I'm talking specifically
to a same sex.
I'm not in the same sex relationship, so I don't know what happens under those dynamics, respectfully. Yeah. But I
would say just, but I'm not saying I'm saying any relationship, in a relationship, because we see guys like we talked about Stephon Diggs. Was he? And I asked you earlier this year, did you think he was distracted by everything going on in his relationship off the field? And you're like, no. That would not happen.
And it comes down again to the C word, capacity, right? Everybody's nervous system's different. Everybody's life experience is different. Everybody's emotional intelligence is different. Everybody, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's not a one size fits all. And then when you're talking about women athletes, you know, some things are the same, but some things remain the same. I mean, different, right? Like, so there's just things fundamentally, me as my masculine self are gonna have enormous blind spots to plight of females. And by the way, speaking of that, I don't need to be speaking about that. But the women's plight and femininity and this, that, and that, and I don't know. Why are you asking me? My name's Jamal. You know what I'm saying?
So it could be different, but I think that we could speak on a human level. Yeah. Do you think?
Yes, of course. But it could be positive too. Again, a lot of times, athletes, whether it's on a court, tennis match, field, football field, whatever, that's the sanctuary of the athlete,
right?
Because outside of it, typically, it's chaotic,
right?
And I told a parent the other day, like, she asked if my sons could play college sports or whatever. I said, have you ever been to jail? No. Have you ever been involved in domestic violence? No. Have you ever came home with no lights? No. You ever came home not knowing how to eat? No. And I just named all these different dysfunctional, realistic, or even traumatic items that happen in a lot of childhood's life that just so happen to end up being athletes at a very high level, and they checking on boxes. So the consolation of not checking none of them boxes that I highlighted is like, okay, your son or daughter is not going to be playing Division I sports, right? Because you're a good parent. They didn't suffer enough trauma. They didn't suffer enough. There wasn't enough chaos to create Yeah, because that's what's fueling 99% of these athletes.
Wow.
And so
That's big.
that's all I'm saying. And closing with it, I'm real serious about I think with respect to the Dallas Wings media manager, it was a nice, it would have been a nice to have addressed it, but it wasn't a gotta, it wasn't a gotta have to address it. I agree with that. But I think that it did expose how ill prepared that they were for that moment. But now that the moment has come, has appeared, now you got to prepare and come up with some type of appropriate response going forward, because this is something that is
going to come back.
That's the bottom line.
I agree. No, I agree. That's going to be interesting. That's a total different conversation. But like you said, with the WNBA reaching these new heights and new advertisers and reaching new things, you know, it's gonna be a part of that. Speaking of the WNBA here in Atlanta, I gotta say I'm excited about Angel Reese being here. They're calling her they're calling her the Black Barbie, like she's ATL Barbie.
I like that.
I'm excited. I think it's great for the city, and it's really just great for women's sports. And so we got to take the good with the bad. So we that does need to be addressed. That there does need to be a crisis plan in place for that line of questioning. But I'll take it because we see how excited and how people are responding to these female athletes, and that's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, they got next, and we could not have handpicked a better female basketball player to come represent Atlanta with a community that is steeped in culture, that want nothing to embrace her, support her, love her, and just welcome her, you know, to a future championship city. Because I do believe with her addition here that we are in a bona fide contention to win championships year in and year out.
Here with the Atlanta Dream. Yeah. I'm sorry if you guys feel like the show is really Atlanta driven. Victor, you got to speak up for you got to balance it out a little bit.
Whoever's in the chat, if you got a question, ask a question. You guys,
I'm listening. I ain't got nothing to say about you know.
I know that Tammy was like, everybody's not from Atlanta, so
hey,
it could be a little Atlanta heavy.
Ask a question or something. Tammy,
it's funny. It's funny because I grew up in Boston like Jamal, and so my teams are all either Boston or Atlanta. I don't have anything in between that. So I go from the Celtics to the Hawks. I go from the Patriots to the Falcons. So that's kind of where I don't do any other team. I don't care about New York. I don't care about LA. I mean, LA, I'm kind of growing on me a little bit, but I'm a big Atlanta or Boston. That's only two teams. You know,
well, there's no balance here then. I'm sorry, guys.
I can't really talk about.
Write some questions. Ask a question. What answer the question?
Tammy says she's more interested in being a celebrity. Oh wow. Okay, I think she's talking about Angel Reese.
All right,
she paid her dues. She paid her dues. She did her time with the critiques and the people have been, you know, dogging her. And when she came out, it was all about the other girl. What's her name? The other Caitlin Clark, or whatever her name is. Yeah, it was all about her and how much money she made and how much better she's a better player and all this stuff. So I think Angela Reese now is settling into her stardom, and she is well deserved. So if I was her, move to a city that's going to embrace me, I'm going to embrace them, and Atlanta is the spot for that. Atlanta is the place for that.
Yeah,
I don't think we would say that with a man. We wouldn't say that about a man. Like male athletes have become part of. Shaq is selling everything, and we know Shaq because of him being a sports
Orlando,
an athlete,
and
like
LA, and yeah.
I think it's a byproduct of being great in your sport. And Angel Reese, you know, back when she was LSU, and she's earned everything that she's receiving at this particular time. And more importantly, her game and skill set has transferred to the WNBA, and she can't be faulted for being as gorgeous as she is, talented she is, marketable as she is, and she has a very indelible personality that translates very well all markets and all ages. So Tammy, you better be tuning more into Angel Reese, and you probably your perspective as you learn more about her, because she definitely deserving everything she's receiving.
Yeah, I think her game is gonna shut everybody up. I just love the Victoria's Secret. I mean, like I said, women are coming from such a deficit. We got to use everything that we can. And to Jamal's point, she's beautiful. That's the same thing that we do with an athlete. You know, when a male athlete, Kobe Bryant was, not only was he talented, but he was also an attractive man. So there's all types of opportunities that come along with that.
Yeah.
Edna says she asked about soccer. Edna, put your question in there in the chat again about soccer for Jamal to see. Yeah.
Just Edna, just know in advance. Jamal ain't Pele. Pele is the color of my blazer. Okay.
The University of South Carolina just got
right here. Edna, what she say?
Tammy said the University of South Carolina just got the #1 high school pick from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Okay, Tammy, you got the sports info.
Research, and they also picked up the #3 rated high school female basketball player as well. I believe her name is Olivia or something. She dunks in games as a woman.
Oh, wow.
And so I don't. Hey, listen, if I had a daughter who just so happened to be an outstanding female basketball player in high school, and I'm looking to a college program that will allow me to develop my skill sets, not just as an athlete, but as a person, and being around greatness, somebody who's did it 4 decades ago and will do nothing but help support me on all of my endeavors, all of my ideas, and maximize all of my resources. There's not a better person than Dawn Stanley at South Carolina. Period.
Yeah, true.
Dawn, can we just say, and again, Jamal, we didn't have you for a couple of weeks. I just want to give kudos to Dawn Stanley. I had the honor of interviewing her a couple of years ago. I know that we're working to be able to honor her for during the Essence Festival this year. But the way she carries herself, both on and when she's coaching, and then after with the coach, the male coach that was being negative towards her, the way she just carries herself. Our interview was one of the most inspirational I've done in the last few years. She's a phenomenal example, and I think that there's always this underlying hypocritical idea that women are emotional and cannot show up in certain spaces in the same way that men do. And I think that Dawn Stanley is a great example that does not necessarily always have to be the case.
Yeah, but I mean, women are emotional, men are emotional as well, but they try to weaponize it. I think there's nothing abnormal or not ordinary about being emotional the way Dawn Stanley did in that moment, when basically she was being manipulated, by Coach Gino, who lied about and misremembered facts and also accused her falsely of doing things she didn't do. And so she was taken aback and just befuddled almost, because she didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And come to find out, nor did he. And it was a very cowardice.
But she played for him too, right?
Yeah, very, very bullish energy. But I think what it really just crystallizes that it was a changing of the guards, and he don't like it.
He can't handle it. He's emotional. He's emotional about it.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody, men and women emotional. I think the weaponization of saying somebody's emotional is gaslighting, if that's today's word or whatever. But it's a manipulating tactic to try to reverse leverage, essentially.
Yeah.
But I think it just really was a telltale indicator that he talk about somebody that wasn't ready for the moment. He just could not handle. Not only that he lost, but he lost to Dawn Stanley.
Right.
That just made him. He couldn't
handle it.
He couldn't handle that.
He should have been happy because she played for him. So he should have been happy because
That is not how
she
athletes
played.
think.
I know, but no, I'm saying she played for
I
him.
don't know much.
So
I don't know much, but I do know that no athlete is thinking, I'm glad that I was
yeah,
beat by someone that
that
no.
I coached.
No, but I
I
do
don't
think
know.
no. But I do think there's a discipline that comes from being able to control your emotions. That's the definition of discipline, when you can be in a space and feel something, because we all feel, but being able to control that's the mark of maturity in class. And obviously Gino doesn't have it, but and Don did.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
good. You gotta be trained as far as emotional IQ. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to identify triggers. You gotta be able to, like you said, manage your emotions. And more importantly, you have to have strategies already rehearsed, practiced,
Yeah.
to be able to handle yourself in a mature manner, that the way Don Stanley did and the way Gino did not. But I just think that it was a power thing. It was a power flex that happened. But if reports are true with respects to South Carolina's roster for next year, back to the championship.
Yeah.
Well, we will see. We will see. Before we get out of here, Jamal, first of all, it's good to have you back. Again, we wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you.
Victor and I put that together, and we're very, very happy and just very thankful that you are agreed to be a part of our little newscast on Friday. So we appreciate you for that. Want to leave you guys hoping everybody has an amazing weekend. But before we get out of here, I want to make sure that we share the inspiration for the day. I just saw something. I'm like, we were going to talk about this. We ran out of time, but Tyrese and Tank. The versus has ended TGT, you guys. It's over.
Good.
Why do you say good? Why you say good?
Because you can't have a person that's like Tyrese acting like that just because he lost at something he didn't prepare for.
He can't control his emotions.
Like that. That's like his course, and that's on why you gotta act like that.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't prepare for verses, so why?
Tyrese, why you gotta act like that? Why you gotta act like that? Now we got no more. Now there's no more TGT. That is hilarious.
I've seen Tyrese's recent appearance on the Joe Budden show.
I did. That's what I watched.
La 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 la. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm saying. At the crux of it was this: if you didn't write something and you just basically utilize your power and was able to, like Joe Budden said, strong arm the situation to put allegedly 51% of that particular song publishing, and you didn't write nothing. Why, when Tank says, yo, you didn't write that, why can't you just say, hey, I geniusly found a way to negotiate, and I negotiate 51%. No, I didn't write it, but I got 51% of publishing.
That would take emotional maturity, which we have learned Tyrese does not have.
We got Tyrese. We got
Tyrese. There's Usher and Chris Brown. Move on. I don't got time.
Usher and Chris Brown.
Tyrese.
Usher and Chris Brown are erasing that conversation. But I literally could not believe. I watched that interview with Joe Budden, and I was like, this is nuts. The fact that versus took out the ego could not handle it. I thought it was a cult. At first we thought, well, he's taking it well. He's laughing it off. But nope. It's over. It's over. But
that was what I'm saying too, though, because Genuine and Tank always indicated or gave large smoke signals that Tyrese wanted higher percentage, unreasonable percentages.
No. We did it, but they did. Tyrese actually spoke about it. He did an interview one time where he was basically saying that he should get more because not only does he do music, but he's also a blockbuster movie star. They were, and Genuine is someone, and Tank as well. I've worked with both of them, and unfortunately Tyrese, I've been around Tyrese as well. But those two are very professional, just a team player, and could see the bigger picture. Tyrese was not able to do that. It's ego, and
Yeah.
That's the commonality, because from that to what I seen in that interview where they just kept deflecting for about 7 to 10 minutes. That's if it don't come on the wash, it comes on the rinse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is true.
You've been quiet, Victor. Ask me and Crystal something before we go or something, man. You've been quiet this episode.
What's happening? What's happening this weekend, Jamal? Tell me about this weekend. What you got planned tonight, tomorrow?
Black Effect. I want to see Black Effect. I wanted to see Mona, white girl. Don't call me white girl.
Oh yeah.
I want to see her. I want to see her live to see, how she is in person, because what I've observed prior to her addition to the Joe Budden show, she was different. She was, I say, funnier. You know what I mean? Her personality was bigger and her voice was, broader and things like that. I feel like on the show, sometimes her biggest challenges is if it's time to be funny or is it time to just be Mona? Because I think when she's just Mona, she's funnier than when she's trying to be funny. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, trying to get a moment on TV, on screen.
Saying something, because she tries to insert her bits into her show, which is smart.
Yeah.
But sometimes it gets interrupted and she starts talking about emotional IQ. She needs to take a class too. But I digress. But yeah, but I love her though. She's definitely has the potential to be a star, but she's developing to do so. I want to see how she is in person.
Is she gonna be at the Black Effect podcast weekend?
And she's gonna be at the Atlanta Comedy Club Sunday.
Okay, might as well.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
If you didn't know that, so
man, I'm missing that podcast summit, man. Okay,
Atlanta.
What you want to do, Victor?
Just see the Michael biopic, and that's it. I got work to do. I gotta work on videos and work on uploads and work.
I'm about to say, you need. I'm gonna have a little bit more fun for you, because you need you sound like you need some fun in your life, Victor. You don't have to work 24 hours in a day, Victor. I mean, slice up take time for an hour for you to just be reckless for a little bit.
Be reckless, Victor. But that is going to be the weekend theme. We're going to challenge Victor to be reckless for at least 2 hours this weekend.
Victor. You can be irresponsible. Call outside the lines, Victor. Call outside the lines.
My recklessness is going to the hot tub, and
there you go.
Hey, that's okay.
No, I go to the gym. I go to the hot tub. I go for walks.
Victor, take your wife. Take your wife after you go to see the Michael biopic. Just drive someplace that she's not expecting and just do something reckless for a couple of hours.
Hey, Victor. Hey, because you know why? If you do with Crystal and I, telling you, Victor, the next time we meet, you're going to have a story to tell.
Yeah.
Man.
There you go. See that? Look at him.
The sad part about it is the biopic we watched tonight is 9:00 tonight, 9:30 tonight. So
okay,
it's a 2
Victor, it's okay. Movie. You're grown.
It's a 2 hour movie. It's a 2 hour movie.
Take a nap. Take a nap.
Take a nap.
Take a nap before. Take a nap before.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a nap. Of course.
It's plausible over 40 years old. You can take a nap.
I know.
Take a nap beforehand, but you'll surprise her. And she won't be expecting that. Trust me, she will not be expecting that. Then afterwards, just go off road. Just go off road. Okay. Yeah.
I'll think about it.
Hey, Chris, we need to create a segment with Victor. We're gonna discuss that on another show, but
crazy.
I think we just identified something.
I think so.
That he might be carrying privately, you know what I mean?
I'm just trying to give you the news segment, sports. Give you, what I'm saying? I do.
No, we're not talking about that, Victor. We're not talking about that. We're talking about personally. Right. Noel and I are going to talk about it tomorrow when I see him at the Black Effect podcast, and we'll reconvene. Okay. We'll reconvene.
Man, I don't live in Atlanta, but go ahead.
You're in LA though, Victor. That's even better.
I know. A lot going on this summer.
That's even better. But all right, you guys, the inspirational quote for today is, if you do not reprogram your subconscious, your future will look exactly like your past. You see that? If you don't reprogram yourself, you will not move forward. So, Victor, that's a great way for us to end this, because what it says is if we don't do something different, we're going to keep getting the same thing. We
I
got
love
to
that.
make some
Yep.
change. Yep. So we're
I'm a
going to
work
do
in progress.
something. Everybody, no, not we all are, but just do something off that you would not normally
Jamal isn't.
do.
He's not a work in
I went,
progress.
hey, Rick, I went roller skating. I went to Cascade. I went to Cascade. I've been roller skating about 30 years, Victor. But you guess what? I never fall. I'm an athlete anyway, baby. You already know that.
Okay.
Athletes don't fall, baby. You know what I mean? They just don't do it. You know?
Jamal, are you
30 years. I roller skate 30
Jamal?
years. You know?
Jamal, are you letting your girlfriend go to see Chris Brown and Usher? Are you one of the guys that's having some trouble with that?
Hey. She could go see him. She better not allow a cherry to get inserted in her mouth. She better not allow a tongue to be in her ear, eye, that Chris Brown will be freely and generously given. And
They are.
If I had to start them in cachet as Chris Brown too, I'll be cashing in on some
people's
of my
wives
privileges as well. Absolutely.
Chris Brown is cashing in on wives and girlfriends, as is Usher everywhere. But the crazy thing is, it's not even them.
Yeah, I love
It's
it.
the women. It's the women that are allowing it. The women are saying, "I don't care what you say. If I get an opportunity, I'm going. You'll work it out later." And that's so. It's not really their fault. I feel like they're blameless.
The guy for it is Keke Palmer. Crashed a wedding over some cherries in the mouth.
Crazy. See what happened?
Meanwhile, Usher's marriage is intact.
Stronger than ever. As Paul Linton said, Tyrese, why you got
I'm done. That's a wrap.
We gotta find a good in Tyrese. Right now, he's healing, baby. You need some healing.
He needs to go on tour. He should open for Usher and Chris Brown.
Who could Usher? Who could open for Usher and Chris Brown? Who? Tyrese?
He's auditioning for it, Tyrese.
I said Tyrese should open up for Chris Brown.
Let me tell you something. If Tyrese can't handle Tank, he will crash out in front.
Yeah, and he could push around that ego conversation with Tank and Genuine, but it's dismissive and laughable to even approach
the problem with Tyrese is not that he can't do it.
I don't think it's a good pairing, honestly. I don't think it's a good pairing. I don't think it's
Usher and Chris Brown?
Tyrese. I don't know what's going on.
I don't think so.
It's not. No, it's totally just like, because he was like, well, y'all don't do what I do. He doesn't do what they do. They don't do the same thing. So it would not work.
T-Pain would be a crazy opener.
Yeah, T-Pain could work.
Versatility and that energy.
He would be, but T-Pain got ego as well too. So that might
but you can't compete with them.
You got to.
No. I think Tyrese is a good artist. I think the problem with him is I think he's lazy. And he's relying on his name and what he did in the past, but he's not putting in the work to be the great artist he could be. But he's just lazy. That's what it comes down to. He's not.
I don't think he's lazy. I think he just doesn't have the talent at the level of Usher and Chris Brown.
Yeah, exactly. That I think he's tired.
Probably that too.
Victor. I think he's tired.
I think Jamal, you said a word, capacity. Yeah. We're at capacity. Where there's nothing is at capacity. He's at capacity.
Situation with that ex-wife
took him out.
I ain't got nothing left to give.
But even if he did, his talent, it's at capacity. We don't have the ability to go forward to where these two are. It's just not. And I'm gonna tell you something. Usher is the only one that could eat, and he still is not at the capacity of the other one. So that's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's probably going to be a thing. Chris Brown had us in there for 3.5 hours, tired, sleepy. He was still going. So I don't know exactly what Usher is planning, but I don't know what Chris Brown is on or what is happening, but He is on another. That's a whole different type of.
He's our Michael. He's our Michael.
He is. He is. So, but no, I love this. Usher is the only person that could go with him. Tyrese could never, and we wouldn't even. That is an insult to the two of them. Never.
Okay. All right.
Never.
Retract that.
Yeah, not. I would. No, somebody younger, somebody that's does something totally different.
I know. Yeah.
Tyrese would self implode because he would not be. If you're self imploding with Tank face, not gonna work. Mm-mm. All right, y'all. Well, this is how you end a Friday. This is how a Friday show should be. This is it. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. If you're watching this on the replay, because I know a lot of you guys have been watching the replay, leave your comments. Let us know what you think about everything that we discussed. Let us know. Are you going to go see the Michael biopic? What are your thoughts? Are you okay with your girlfriend going to the Chris Brown and Usher concert? Do you think the Victor should let loose for 2 hours? Let us know in the comments. And we'll see you guys next week.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.